All right, this is going to be a quick video demonstration on the new custom error message element that Salesforce has provided us within our record triggered flows. So this is a new element. I believe it came out in the winter 24 release notes, so pretty much brand new. I love it for, just to jump in and lack of a better term. I've had a lot of useful needs, let's just say, for this element. I think in the past it was always kind of a pain point being able to, elegantly communicate messages or errors to our end users from record triggered flows, right? There were some workarounds, sure. Maybe a before save flow with a custom validation rule. There was workarounds, but again, they weren't that elegant, right? There was kind of more to the process than just a flow or just a validation rule. So with this new element, we basically have those validation rules and those validation messages that we can now display to our end users and communicate with them a little bit easier, a little bit better than how we could in the past as it pertains to record triggered flows. So that's what I'm going to go over. Just to kind of set the scenario up a little bit. So it's going to be really straightforward, right? So I'm on an account and I've built a large deal account Boolean field. So I basically, it's going to be available for my end users, right? My sales reps, and they should be able to set this field to true and set it to false. So I'm not going to do it just yet, but that's it, right? So we're going to just focus on that one large deal account Boolean field. There's some restrictions though, right? So I only want my end users to be able to set this to true if the account has at least one opportunity that's equal to or greater than $25,000. So if I look at the opportunities on this account, you can see it has 3, which is great, but none of them are $25,000 or more. So once we get our flow built and our end user tries to update this field to true, as long as we build the flow correctly, we're going to provide them with an error message just saying, hey, this account doesn't have an opportunity greater than or equal to that $25,000. So that's it. That's kind of the background scenario. So let's get into building the flow. So I'm going to go into setup. And I'll search flow. And once we get into our list of flows, we want new flow. And again, this is a brand new element for record triggered flows. So that's what we want. And now, as far as the start element goes, so for our object, nice and easy, right? We'll go with this first account option. I'll go with, for the trigger, let's do record is updated. That's the second option. And for set entry criteria, or conditions rather, we're just going to have one condition, right? So that large deal account field that we were just looking at on our account record. So if this equals true, and I don't want it to fire, when an account's updated and this is already set to true, so I'm going to go with the second option. Only when a record is updated to meet the condition requirements. So the flow is only going to fire when large deal account is updated to true. And for how we want to optimize the flow, we'll go with fast field updates. Anytime I can, I try and use this option. It's it's more efficient, and it obviously runs before the second option here. There's less elements and resources available for us for the fast field update flows, but again, for for this demo, we should be able to get away with a before save flow. So we'll go with this option and we'll close out of our start element. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to open up our element drawer here and we're going to find the get records element. So I'll call this get related opportunities. And for our objects, we want opportunity. So this is where we're gonna find opportunities related to the triggering account. And keep in mind, we only want to find opportunities that are greater than or equal to $25,000. So for our conditions here, we'll go with account ID equals, and then we should have we have our record global variable. It's our account that triggered the flow, so we'll select that. That's going to give us all the account fields, and we'll find ID, so account ID. So that's condition number one. Remember, we only want large opportunities, so our second condition, we'll go with amount greater than or equal, you guessed it, to 25,000. So we want both of these to be set to true, right? So we want opportunities under the account that triggered the flow, and only opportunities that are greater than or equal to $25,000. So down here at the bottom, so how many records do we want to store? All we need is one, because it doesn't matter to us if we find one or more. All we need is one, and that's it. We don't need, if there's 2 opportunities, if there's 3, if there's 10, as long as there's one opportunity under our account that's greater than or equal to that $25,000 amount, we're good. So we're just going to store the first record, and all fields, that's fine. I'll just leave that one set with the first option. So we'll close this element. And up next, we're going to pull in, we're going to open that drawer again, and we'll pull in a decision element. So now we basically want to check and see if we found an opportunity with our get records element. So I'll call this, nope, that's not what I want, large opportunity found. So basically just asking ourselves, was a large opportunity found? For outcome number 1, we'll say yes, and we'll click into this resource search bar, if you will, and we'll find our get records element from the previous element that we were just working on, right? So I'll click on that. That's going to open up, because it's an opportunity record, it's going to give us all the fields that we have on our opportunity object. Fields aren't important for us, right? So I'm just going to click outside, really anywhere outside of that little window there. So now I just have my opportunity from the get related opportunities element. And for my operator, I'll go with is null. And for a value, we'll set it to false. So this outcome is essentially looking to see if an opportunity was found, because if an opportunity was found with this get records element, is null is going to be false, right? Otherwise, is null would be true, which would be telling us that this is empty. So is null is false is essentially telling us that this get records element right here actually found an opportunity. So that's it. That's all we have to do for outcome number 1. Now the default outcome, I'm just going to relabel it to no, just to make things a little bit easier to read. And that's it. So we'll close out of our decision element. And now we only have one actually, I was going to say 2 elements left to build, but we really only have to do one more element. So again, what's triggering our flow is going to be, if I go back to my account here, it's going to be someone updating this checkbox field to true. So we go back. So what we're essentially going to want is if an opportunity did, if an opportunity was found, we want to go down this yes path and basically just execute our account update based on the end user without any interruptions, right? Just save the account with this field set to true. Otherwise, if an opportunity wasn't found, we want to go down this right path here. And this is where that new element comes into play, right? So we're going to find this custom error message. I keep saying error message, but I guess they really just call it custom error. So we'll select that. We'll give it a name, or a label, I should say. So display error message. And a couple cool things to note with this element. So you can basically pick and choose. Do you want, just like a validation, right? Do you want your error message to display on a specific field? If so, you'd select the second option, you find your field. Or do you want it just in a window on the page? So I'm just going to go with this top option. And then we have this kind of big text window where we can put in whatever text we want, right? So this is where we can communicate to our end user. So this account does not have an opportunity that's $25,000 or more. Sorry, that's it. And of course, if you're used to working with flows, you'll have, at our disposal to use in that error message, we have all these different resources provided with the flow. So a lot of global variables, and really any other elements. In our case, we have our opportunity from our get related opportunities element here, which we're going down the no path, so it'd be empty. So we wouldn't want to use that for anything, but all your other elements in your flow are going to be available for you within your error message. So really cool. That's pretty much it. So before I save this, another kind of cool feature with this element is you can add multiple messages, right? So right now you can see I'm just working on error message number 1. If I do add error message again, it's going to pop open the same thing, but for error message 2, right? So just keep that in mind. It's kind of, I don't know why I think it's kind of hidden, but just keep that in mind. You have the ability to add multiple error messages if you want to. Maybe you want to put one, my first one was on, just the window. Maybe I want to put another one on the field itself. So I'm not going to do that, but just wanted to make sure that that was covered. So that's it. So from here, we'll close out of our custom error element and we'll save our flow. Okay, we'll give it a name, we'll give it a label, we'll save it, and then we'll activate it, and we'll test it. We'll see if this thing works. So I'm just gonna refresh my account, just in case, you never know. Okay, so account's been refreshed. So again, if I hover over the opportunity related list, we can see there's not a single opportunity that's over $25,000 or more. So what we should see when we actually set our large deal account field to true, we should see our error message, right? It shouldn't let us do this. It should throw that validation. So we'll save this. There we go. So this account does not have an opportunity that's $25,000 or more. Sorry. So we'll cancel that. And our user can't move forward with updating that field, right? So now to kind of show you guys the happy path, let's update one of these opportunities to anything greater than or equal to 25,000. So I'll go with 26. All right, we'll save this. And now we should be able to update this field without a problem. That's it. Save just fine. So that's it. That's all I wanted to cover. Hopefully you guys think this custom error message element is as cool and useful as I do, because there was definitely some pain points in the past with supplying proper error messages and just communicating with our end users from record triggered flows. So that's it again for the video. Let me know what you guys think. Or if I missed anything or anything like that, feel free to throw that in the chat, or not the chat, the comments. And yeah, that's it. Have a good night.